Listen up, you spoiled brats. There's hope for you yet. It's Snuffy Smith on today's Motivated Moments in History. Maynard Harrison Smith was born to a wealthy family in Michigan in 1911. Everyone who knew this dude from childhood well into adulthood referred to him as a spoiled, snotty, rich kid brat. He'd never cared for rules and was selfish and prideful. He was on that same level of bratness as that affluenza teen, or that snooty high school douche princess who sued her parents for an allowance. He had no aspirations in life, didn't care about going to college or bettering himself in any way. His plan was to live off his inheritance until he had to get a job. If he was alive today in the 21st century, he'd just, live off his parents' wealth, make a sex tape with Ray J, marry Kanye West, and watch his stepdad become a woman and get some bogus-ass ESPY award for doing nothing except growing tits. Well, didn't really grow them. It was more like surgically. It doesn't matter! Well, in his late 20s or early 30s, he fathered a child, and he and his baby mama soon separated. Like the spoiled turd he was, he refused to accept any responsibility, and at 31, he found himself in court due to unpaid child support. The judge had no time for deadbeat dad, so he gave Maynard a choice. He could either go to jail for his failure to pay for his kid, or he could don an olive drab uniform and sail across the sea to go slay some motherfucking bodies! Smith had a decent range of options of MOSs to choose from. Keeping his mind focused on money, he chose a job with a high promotion rate. He enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps as an aerial gunner. The job was fast promoting, but, if he would have read the fine print, he would have discovered that the promotion rate was well above average due to its near 50% fatality rate. He arrived to his first unit in England after aerial gunnery school in 1943 and already had a reputation for being an obnoxious douchebag. He maintained this demeanor and was quick to be disliked by everyone in his squadron. Well, he was given a nickname of Snuffy by his superiors, which was a derogatory term at that time. He was assigned as a 50 cal gunner on a bomber plane, but nobody wanted him. He was so disliked that his crew was forced to accept him into their fold or face possible UCMJ repercussions. Somehow, the bastard made it to staff sergeant before going on his first combat mission. So anyway, it was May 1st, 1943, and he loaded up to fly out and drop some bombs and rain democracy via explosive mushroom stamps all over the Germans. The target was a heavily protected region known to the Air Corps as Flak City. Oddly enough, the mission went off without a hitch. It was successful, and the bomber crew was met with little resistance during the raid. On the way back, the navigator got mixed up, and instead of guiding his crew back to base in England, they ended up descending over the heavily fortified city of Brest, France. As the plane lowered and unknowingly into range of the Nazi anti-aircraft munitions, the crew started taking heavy fire. Within seconds, the bullets ripped through the aircraft and wounded some of the pilots and crew members. It knocked out the power to Smith's ball turret, it wiped out the plane's oxygen system, and killed the communications platforms. And it even started a fire in the fuselage. The fire began to grow at an alarming rate, so much so that 3 of his crew members put on parachutes and hopped out. Still to this day, their fates remain a mystery. Smith, on the other hand, he wasn't about to go all hoo-hoo airborne, so he started tending to the wounded as well as attempted to navigate the plane back to base. When he wasn't bandaging up dudes or guiding the aircraft, he was fighting a ferocious fire and dodging incoming bullets. The temperature of the plane rose to hellfire and brimstone levels, and the ammunition started to explode. Smith grabbed the ammo and started kicking it out of the plane through the holes made by the enemy weapon systems. He then sprayed down the fire with the fire extinguishers, but that didn't help too much. When the extinguishers ran out, he threw them out the plane also, and then started chucking anything that wasn't bolted down, resulting in like some massive carpet bombing of the enemy with tool bags and equipment crates. The fire was growing, and it was growing fierce. With no firefighting materials left, he put on some protective clothing and started smothering that shit out with his own body. He ended up finally getting rid of the blaze by pulling his pecker out and giving it some type of xhamster.com inspired golden shower. After 90 minutes of chaos, the plane finally made it into a safe zone and landed on the first available strip and even broke in half once it touched down. But its remaining crew survived and they were safe once again. Snuffy Smith, he was a hero, and he was immediately recommended for the nation's highest award for his valiant heroism. Smith's Medal of Honor was fast approved. This did nothing to help his attitude. In fact, it made it worse. He was no longer just some asshole kid. He was some asshole kid with a Medal of Honor. You know, his unit hated him. He rubbed it in their face every chance he got. You know, they were like, hey, Smith, I need you to go do a police call. Yeah, I could do a police call. I could do it today, and I might be able to do it tomorrow, but I can't do it on Tuesday, you know, because, I'm getting a Medal of Honor, and you're not, because I'm a freaking war hero, and you're some pogue-ass biatch. Lick on my taint. Well, that's not actually how it happened, you know. He really didn't know the date and time of the award ceremony, and when the Secretary of War and the band showed up for the occasion, Smith was nowhere to be found. A search party was launched, and, you know, Snuffy was eventually located, scarfing down leftovers outside the mess tent. So right after he received his Medal of Honor, he was put on KP duty and eventually busted down to private. Like, yeah. Like, this guy went from being some E6 War Hero Medal of Honor recipient to some private E1 on extra duty just within a few weeks. He went on 4 more missions after receiving his medal and was discharged in 1945. He died in 1984, nearly a week before his 73rd birthday. He's buried in Arlington. And that, kids, is your Motivated Moments in History!